tapestry above the bed you gave me. I still haven't washed my sheets, because I still smell you in the bed you used to rest your head.
If you have no one to do it with, do it alone. I kind of live by the saying, life is so short and I have places I want to see and adventures I want to go on and foods I need to try before I die, and it just doesn't make sense to put these things on hold until I find someone to do them with.
Best granola ever.
I've had an itch to book this solo trip for ages, and one day I was like, literally, what am I waiting for? So I found some cheap plane tickets and a tiny bedroom on Airbnb and began overstuffing my carry-on. We did have a slight 3 or 4 hour delay due to plane malfunctions, which kind of freaked me out. Like, it would have been better if they didn't tell me that right before I'm about to trust them with my life, you know? But it's okay because they gave us a $15 food coupon voucher to spend at the airport, and you guys know how I feel about free food. On the plane, there was this woman sitting behind me who had really bad stomach pains, and they had to ask all of the doctors on the plane to come and try to figure out what was going on, and I think in the end they predicted it was gallstones. I'm glad she's okay, but it was a chaotic 4 hours, and I'm like an emotional sponge, so I was absorbing all of the stress from the situation, but I got through it by stress eating Biscoff cookies and a muffin. I have a major soft spot for the Starbucks blueberry muffin. I don't know, it's so good. Vancouver is the most expensive place to live in Canada, and it's pretty obvious why. I swear it's like walking into a postcard. Why is Vancouver so pretty? And encircling the city are boats lining the water and mountains and trees and the sounds of seagulls and city life intertwining. You can't help but pause for a moment and take it all in. I wasn't allowed to check into my Airbnb until 6 p.m, so to pass the time, I thought I might as well go get my half marathon race bib and check out the expo. 6 months ago, I actually signed up to run the Vancouver Marathon for my second marathon before I was given a place to run the London Marathon, so I ended up switching this marathon to a half, but I did not anticipate when I booked this trip that I'd tear my ankle ligament, but I met with my physio before I came and she said I was in good shape to slowly run/walk the half. This is like the only place in Canada where it rarely snows. I was actually born in Vancouver on the only snowy day of the entire winter. Random fact, but my middle name is actually my Chinese name and it translates to one snow. My parents really ran out of name ideas, I guess.
Probably hand sanitize. You can hear my mom yelling at me.
I don't remember much about the city because we moved across the country when I was a couple months old, but my body somehow still feels like it's home here, like happy and peaceful and safe. I was also feeling quite ravenous at this point, so I got some takeout sushi and ate it at the beach. I ended up spilling soy sauce all over my coat, so I smelled like soy sauce for the rest of the trip, but I was too happy in this moment to complain about anything. I spent a couple hours just basking in the sun and reading my book and catching snippets of strangers' conversations and enjoyed doing absolutely nothing.
Okay, I'm kind of obsessed with this place.
After, I went to Whole Foods to buy some bagels and bananas to eat before the half marathon tomorrow, and then I went to eat my favorite pre-long run dinner. This place actually really surprised me. The ingredients tasted super fresh, and I love that they do individual sized pizzas. It was like the perfect solo pizza dinner.
That's really good.
这个是一个 single bed， 没有地方放这个，我也打不开门，特别热这里面。
看窗户能打开吗？
可以打。Should I just open it？ 我掉出去怎么办？
I'm gonna go into a little running appreciation speech right now. I still think it's crazy how the tiniest decisions we make can create the biggest changes in our lives. Like, thank God past me went on that first run, because literally where would I even be? Not here, in some stranger's kitchen going through all her drawers at 4:12 a.m, that's for sure. I'm so grateful for how running has brought so much joy and so many people and opportunities into my life. Like, how lucky am I to have run on so many trails with so many strangers all over the world. For this half marathon, I actually did the entire thing without any music, which was not my plan going into it, but I really liked it. I spent 2 hours just listening to the pounding of feet and my own breathing, and I felt so present and peaceful. Except there was this one guy who was running behind me the entire time that was aggressively grunting, which kind of ruined the vibes. Or maybe he was the vibe. It was really funny. You had to be there. I'm planning on taking this super slow. The limit is 3 hours. I'm gonna try to get as close to 3 hours as I can. Lots of walking breaks. I'm just taking the views. I originally had signed up for the full marathon and I switched it to a half because I'm not crazy. There is this energy at races, this weird connection you build with the runners around you. You feel like you're really a part of something special. And it's moments like this that remind me why I love to run. I love the way I see the world when I'm running. I love how quiet my brain gets, how much appreciation I have for my body. I love how much more life it adds to my days. It's a gentle reminder that if I keep moving, I'll be okay. And seriously, every time one of you messages me or comments that you signed up for a race, or you ran for the first time in years, or you completed your first 10K, I have the biggest smile on my face. Like, I just think it's so beautiful that I get to share this with all of you. Even though you aren't actually running with me, it feels like you guys are there with me on every run. Post-run, we were all trapped in human traffic for like 20 minutes, but we did get a bunch of free snacks. And then because every street was closed, I just wandered around aimlessly until I stumbled across this donut shop, which I took as a sign from the universe to, you know, eat some donuts.
I got peanut butter and this crazy old-fashioned glaze.
Peanut butter and jelly donut. The dough is on point, but I kind of would rather just eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. 8 out of 10. Insane. Oh my god, crunchy, moist. It's like Christmas.
Whenever I solo travel, I feel a lot of conflicting feelings. I love it so much. You know, it gives me a sense of freedom and growth, and I love discovering and overcoming things on my own. But at the same time, there's this quiet guilt that tugs at me. It's just the weight of knowing that I'm choosing myself over my family, because none of us are getting any younger. So choosing to do things on my own, being somewhere other than home, even just letting myself daydream about happily living somewhere different makes me feel a little bit selfish. It's weird. Like, whenever I see something beautiful or eat something yummy or I'm walking by myself, I feel so content. But a part of me wishes I could be sharing this moment with my mom, that she could see this view and taste this dish and be in this moment with me. But I also love that I just get to have this moment all to myself.
Is the quality bad? 啥太多？我什么回去？
Could I do the soybeans, seaweed salad, cucumber?
So much stuff.
The time difference meant I was sleeping at 7 p.m. and waking up at 4, so I usually spent the early hours of the morning doing a little bit of work until the rest of the world woke up to join me. Before traveling anywhere, I do a lot of Instagram Reel and Google Maps research so that I know the must-see places. But for me, it's more like must-eat places. The first adventure of the day involved a slight trek to a famous buttery breakfast sandwich.
This apple is so mid.
It's egg, Swiss cheese, ham, and mustard aioli sandwiched between a crazy flaky buttery croissant bun.
Okay, apparently this is the ultimate breakfast sandwich in Vancouver. It looks insane. Oh my god, my leg is shaking.
I'm not even a breakfast sandwich person, but I am a whatever this is person. It had the perfect balance of richness and lightness.
It's definitely worth the hype.
With a buttery savoriness and sweetness of the ham, and everything was just working. My mouth was experiencing a lot of joy.
And I thought I was only gonna eat half. That was $15. I think it was worth it.
Taking it easy today on my legs, but I did want to go out and enjoy the nice weather. I also got a little hiking snack. It's not little. That's definitely the best scone I've ever had. What the heck? It's blueberry lemon rosemary.
Do not run. Back away slowly. Do not turn your back. Face the cougar. Enlarge your image. Remain upright. Do not try to hide from the cougar. Okay.
I've always wanted to be one of those people who loves spending time in nature and hikes all the time and is adventurous, but I'm kind of terrified of bugs and have zero wilderness
I
skills.
just realized I'm gonna get eaten alive by mosquitoes here. But it's okay. I kind of feel like I'm a Disney princess living in the woods. It's so beautiful. But yeah, eaten alive. So many rocks out to get me right now.
Honestly, this entire trip felt like a breath of fresh air, a reminder that it's okay to slow down. I was never very good at that. I had to fill every silence, move in every stillness, crowd every free space on my calendar.
These trees are so big. They're giants.
I only started running last year, but it feels like I've been running and running and running my whole life. Towards what exactly? I'm not so sure. Like, why would we want to speed up our existence and get to the end faster? There's nothing for us there, and everything worth having is usually right in front of us. You know, there's a lot of talk about not wasting our time and wasting our lives, but I don't think going for a walk in the sun is a waste of time. I don't think listening to the birds or stopping to pet a dog or taking a moment to watch a sunset or spending an afternoon yapping with friends or getting lost in the pages of a book or calling your mom or taking a delicious nap is wasting your life. Just because it isn't seen as something productive doesn't mean it's a waste of time. And I don't think it's ever a waste doing something that you like. I've definitely had to slow down in 2025, or was forced to, I suppose. The ankle injury really wiped me out. While the humans around me are running faster and further and tackling bigger and bigger goals, I am just trying to get back to normal. So if anyone else is feeling like they're not moving as fast as they should be, that they're playing catch up with everyone around them, you are so not alone, and I promise you that you're not too late. You are actually right on time and exactly where you're supposed to be, even if it doesn't feel that way. And there is actually so much value in where you are right now, even if it's in the middle of nowhere. Running and fitness-wise, I also feel like I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere since I'm not really training for anything right now. I love a good workout program, and completing all my weekly runs feels so satisfying, but it's nice to not be forcing growth and progress and personal bests all the time. Not that there's anything wrong with having goals, but it's okay to move and train and run for fun, to not always be pushing or straining or overexerting. We forget that, you know, sometimes it's okay to just do things that make you happy.
Oh, Canada.
Also, post-injury, I've been using Whoop to help me feel more in touch with my body, and this little band gives me so much useful information about my body's level of strain and recovery so that I can better take care of it. Reading all the data my Whoop collects about my body is so interesting, and a feature I've been loving lately is the health span feature. So basically, it shows you how your lifestyle choices contribute to your long-term well-being, and with that information, it can help you make better choices for your health, and they even give you a Whoop age and your pace of aging. So your Whoop age is calculated using 9 key metrics, like the amount of strength training you do, the quality of your sleep, resting heart rate, VO2 max, stuff like that. Apparently my Whoop age is below 18, which is good because it means I'm aging slower, but I do have a couple areas in which I can improve. Like, since my Whoop literally knows everything, it knows I've been slacking a little bit on my strength training these days, but I've been slowly trying to get back into it. My sleep could also definitely use some work, but the goal isn't to be perfect here, okay? It's just to be aware of how we can take better care of our bodies. So if you want to try out Whoop for yourself, you can click the link in the description and get a free Whoop sent to you and also a 30-day free trial, and then we can do it. Anyways, back to the video. So in like 2 hours, I'm going to grab lunch with a creator who I've been chatting with online for a little bit. She makes the most delicious recipes, and I don't know if I'm gonna film anything, but she seems like the sweetest, kindest, most wholesome, wonderful human being ever. But we're gonna eat so good because she is a huge foodie. Meeting new humans is really hard for me, and it takes me a while to warm up to people, so I was a little nervous for this first date. But from the moment I got into her car, it was just an effortless flow of conversation. I feel like she just has a gift for making anyone feel comfortable because it felt like I was catching up with an old friend. We talked about everything and definitely over-ordered, and it was a perfect yet bittersweet day for me. Like, I was feeling a mixture of gratitude to have met someone who I really clicked with, and at the same time trying not to feel too happy because I knew I'd only be getting this one single day with her. Being human is so confusing, but I'm grateful to have made a new friend, even if she lives thousands of miles away, and even if it was just for a day.
去出去转一圈儿。
应该的，I'll make you feel better. 哎，你请的胶带，这是。
拿着水和豆奶子出去吃。
Okay, it's a good idea.
Whisper something I could hear.
I think one of my favorite things to do ever is take myself out to get yummy food or try new restaurants. I think it's just one of like the greatest forms of self-love. This Vietnamese restaurant here in Vancouver is known for being packed every day all the time, but they managed to squeeze me in a spot for one at the bar. One of the perks of eating alone, I suppose. So I ended up ordering this Wagyu bone marrow pho because it sounded pretty insane, and it was decadent and rich and fatty and super flavorful because I'm pretty sure bone marrow is just fat and collagen. It was really good, but I think I still just prefer normal pho, but I'm glad I tried it. And I also really wanted to try this ice cream place where I had the most incredible cookies and cream ice cream. It was like an Oreo McFlurry on steroids. And you know what? Ice cream still tastes delicious, even if you're eating it alone. And that can be applied to many things in life. I feel like some people feel bad for single people. You know, they'll say things like, oh, it's okay, you'll find someone one day, or oh, but you're so pretty, or don't be sad, there are so many fish in the sea. It's like no one ever believes me when I say I want to be single. I needed the single era. Basically, I was like boy crazy growing up. My whole life, I've just allowed boys to take over my life and my mind and define my self-worth. I always had a crush, I always fell too fast, and they always broke my heart, or I'd end up breaking theirs so they wouldn't break mine. I needed them to like me because I seriously didn't like myself. So I've been completely and intentionally single for over 4 years now because I had a lot to work on. For the longest time, I'd ask myself, would I date me? And my answer was absolutely not. And I didn't love that. I don't think it was about completely reinventing and fixing who I was necessarily, even though a lot has changed. It was more about healing the parts I wanted to hide, reevaluating the things I thought made me unlovable, learning about who I was and what I wanted, not who I should be and what I should want. I had to learn to detach my worth from the attention and words and presence of another human being. And it took a while, like 4 years, but I can confidently say I've created a life that lights me up from within, that is fulfilling and fun and peaceful. I have strong friendships and a great relationship with my family, and I've gone to therapy, and I have a career I'm proud of and hobbies I love, and I now love dating myself. Fortunately, I have no condiments left. I have a tiny bit of peanut butter left. I want to save it for later, so we're eating a plain bagel. Maybe it's not about trying to find someone to fill this empty space, but instead trying to build a life so full of memories, so rich with joy that someone has to earn their way into it, because I'm not going to disrupt my solitude, my peace, for mediocre company anymore.
I can't believe I voluntarily entered this forest. Okay, I'm already lost. Okay. Dude, what? Oh, this way? It's beautiful and terrifying at the same time.
Okay, we're gonna take a little sandwich intercession because this sandwich deserves a shout out. This was like 2000% the best sandwich I've ever had in my life.
Waiting to steal my sandwich. Oh my god, no. Oh my god. It has to be the best sandwich I've ever had. The crow's making me uncomfortable. I have to switch places. Oh my gosh, so yummy.
The focaccia was so soft and fluffy, yet crisp, and the sweetness of the berry jam and the satisfying crunch of the fried onions. It was just like an out-of-body experience. I have no words. I feel like it transported my mouth to Italy. I think I might have to go back to Vancouver just for the sandwich.
God, my brother would freaking love this sandwich.
I'm not in any way opposed to searching and hoping and swiping for love. I love love, probably more than I should, but we are so obsessed with finding the one, that one person to complete us, that we've forgotten that we are the one, that we should be complete on our own first. And whoever they are your +1.
My soul feels weirdly at peace here.
Like back then, I swear I thought the worst thing that could happen would be not having someone, not being loved, not being chosen. But now I think the worst thing would be not getting the chance to really, truly, deeply know myself. Because the most important relationship is the one that I have with me. Plus, being single doesn't mean you're alone. It actually made me realize how full my life is. I have friends and family and a beautiful community and books and movies and long walks outside, and I have a whole world to see and mountains to hike and marathons to run and an entire human being to get to know. That human is me, by the way.
Please be delicious. Wow, it looks delicious.
My perspective at this point is like, make the most of being single, make the most of going to bed whenever you want, sleep horizontal or sprawled out like a star or upside down. Make the most of this moment in time where you can be completely, totally selfish with your free time and energy. And I know it can be frustrating, seeing friends glow in their relationships and seeing your ex move on. I get it, I've been the third wheel for years and probably a couple years more, but don't take this for granted. Like, how lucky am I to have the time and space and energy to fully be with myself, to learn about my own quirks and icks and dreams and my favorite foods, and learn how to pick myself back up after a tough day, and take myself to the places I want to see and learn what matters most to me.
It looks like I'm in the splits, but it's really just like 30 degrees. Oh my god, I came back and got the same thing because it was so good. And I might come back tomorrow before I leave, honestly.
And I don't think it's sad at all. I actually think it's quite powerful, because even if they don't, I know I will always show up on time. I will always listen. I will buy her favorite foods when she's sad. I won't make her feel like she has to shrink around me. I'll stay. I will be gentle with my own heart, and I will buy myself ice cream and treat myself the way I know I deserve to be treated. And I will always give myself the last bite of dessert.
What the heck? Why is it so good? A black sesame one. It tastes like the inside of a glutinous rice ball, but it's not as good as a Nutella.
This is so messy. I promise it's organized chaos. And maybe the happy ending is, you know, living happily ever after or whatever, but maybe it has nothing to do with another person. My Whoop says I'm 71% recovered. That is really good. Maybe it's because I slept for 8 hours yesterday. Maybe it's about you falling in love with your own life and how you see the world. It's about spending more time outdoors than online, moving your body to celebrate what it can do, romanticizing all the little things, eating really yummy food, and giving yourself permission to slow down and enjoying your own company. And who knows, maybe I'll find the love of my life in 6 months or 10 years or when I'm 57 years old. But whenever it happens, I'll know my worth and needs and non-negotiables because I loved myself first. Plus, being single doesn't mean you've failed or you're broken or behind. Romantic love really is just one piece of the puzzle that makes up the greater picture of your whole life. It's one of so many things you're here to experience. Your worth isn't measured by your aloneness. And I just wanted to remind you that you deserve to be loved. Like, not just needed, not just wanted, not just a nice to have around, not just a placeholder, but deeply loved and cherished and seen for exactly who you are, exactly where you're at. You deserve a love that doesn't feel like a compromise. It doesn't feel like a question mark, that is steady and safe and feels like home. You deserve that kind of love, so don't be scared of waiting a little longer for the things you deserve. And in the meantime, do it alone.